Hello, Blunt Truth with the Ontario Rat 7 in D2 steel. They also offer it in 1095. And if you like D2, this is one advantage that Ontario has over Rat Cutlery. Rat Cutlery, as of yet, does not offer D2. They only make their knives in 1095. D2 is a tad harder than 1095, so it should keep an edge longer. I'll get into the difference a little more after we talk about this particular knife a little bit. It's only fair that I do an Ontario knife, and since I did two of the Rat Cutlery ones, this has it's 12 inches overall, 7-inch blade, 6.5 inches sharpened, micarta handles, scales. Really tough stuff. I love this stuff. It's harder than wood, tough. The really comfortable handle. They made a cutout in the choil here, and a large one that actually works very well. A lot of knives, when you put your finger in here to choke up, you come up on the blade a little, and it's too small. You know, it doesn't work. And this, a nice jimping. Did a good job with the jimping. It's not sharp, but it's aggressive enough so that it works. But it's really comfortable when you choke up. It works well. You get right in there and do your small work. And the handle's really long, comes right down. And I got pretty big hands and sticks right down. And this sort of curve here, I find that if I'm doing chopping and I want that little bit more length to get a bigger swing, more chop power, just grab this, as long as you got a lanyard on so you don't let go of it, because it's tapers, so it's kind of slippery. But grab this and get that added length to get some more chopping power. And that's kind of the way they designed this knife. And most of your knives that go, you know, 5 to 8 inch length blade is sort of enduro. They kind of like an enduro motorcycle, kind of designed to do everything, and they end up not doing everything or anything very well, but they do everything kind of okay. And that's what this gives you. You know, you can choke up to do your fine stuff. It's big enough so that you can, you know, chop with it. Big enough so that you can do some baton splitting with it. You know, would probably up to about 6 inches or so, you'd be able to baton split. And you know, it'd be kind of difficult to skin and prep small animals, but I guess if you choke right up on there, you can get the job done. So it kind of does everything, just doesn't do anything particularly well. It's a 4mm thick blade, which is nice. It's pretty thick. Pretty much the standard on a knife this long, though. The difference between D2 and 1095 is, as far as the metal. D2 is a harder steel. It ranges around 60 on the Rockwell scale, and it's 1095 is around 56, 57ish, 58 maybe. Depends on heat treating, but generally D2 is harder, so it should keep an edge longer. But being around 60, people tend to fear that it's going to chip. Might be a little brittle for a hard use knife like this for chopping and things. So when I do my test on this thing, I'm going to chop. I'm going to try to chip it. I'm going to see what I can do to chip it and see if this thing holds up or if it chips out. We'll find out if D2 is too brittle for heavy use. And at least on this particular knife, D2, they're heat treating from Ontario. And another difference between D2 and 1095, as far as this knife goes, the 1095 version is around $90-95 bucks, and the D2 is about 20 bucks more, 110, 115 online. You know, it depends on where you get it, but it's definitely more for your D2. Is it worth more? when I compare it to 1095, I guess it holds an edge longer, but it's not a huge difference, but it does seem to hold the edge longer. It is a little bit harder to sharpen it, but not a huge difference. I bought this and used it at first, and then I decided that I didn't like going with the Enduro thing, taking one knife to do everything. So then I started taking the RTAC 2 to do all my woodwork, and either an RC3 or a Zula or something, or a folder even, to do the small stuff. So, but if you want one knife, one mid-sized knife to do it all, this is a pretty good choice. Got a flat grind like all your wrap knives, so it's good splitter and good slicer, and it does do good at baton splitting. Baton splitting doesn't abuse the edge much, so I'm not going to do that in the test, because when you're splitting anything, after that first couple inches, after you crack in the top a couple inches, then the grind shape is doing all the work to split the wood. And the edge, the actual very tip edge there, I don't even think it contacts the wood after the first inch or so. So I'm not going to do that for a test. What I'm going to do is chop the hell out of one of these. And this is not my usual stock. This is what I usually use. Fairly soft piece of pine. I don't know what this is made out of, but I bought it just for this. It's 4x4, and it's harder. It's not as hard as oak or ash or something, but it is a lot. I can dent this with my fingernail easily, and I can't with this. So it's harder. I'm going to try to chip this knife and beat on it and see if we can chip it. See if it takes it. I'm going to chop through one of these live. One take. Again, fun and games. So it weighs little hair over 12 ounces, but you're going to take a knife like this around with you. 12 ounces isn't bad. Some are heavier, some are lighter. It's right around that. It's an average weight for a knife like this. So that's pretty much the end of my tabletop. I'm going to chop up some of that wood, see if we can get this sucker to chip, or if it holds its edge, or if it breaks in half, or see how tough that D2 is from Ontario. It's the end of the tabletop. Thank you.